This is the SF Productions Podcast Network.
I'd like to thank the Academy if they had nominated me.
From the Pop Culture Bunker, I'm Mindy.
And I'm Mark. You can check out our audio podcast, How I Got My Wife to Read Comics, on iTunes or on our website, sfpodcastnetwork.com. So the Oscars are actually coming up this Sunday, next week. And we haven't made our picks yet. And we have a system for our picks.
Okay.
We don't see any of the nominated films, except for one, which we'll discuss in a second.
Okay.
We see who won the awards leading up to the Oscars, and then we see who has the most buzz.
Plus, we also see who meets the expectations of, the tropes for winning Oscars.
Indeed.
Yes.
Now, I mentioned did see one of the movies. We did see August Osage County, because my mom wanted to see it. We all left the film hating it.
Ooh, it was horrible. It was really horrible.
So there you go. But you mentioned the tropes. The tropes, certainly, if a nominated actor has died.
They usually win.
Yes.
Okay.
Or have some horrible disease.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What else?
If they have been nominated numerous times, but they haven't won.
That's right.
Yet. Or if they've been nominated so many times that they automatically win.
Right. Yes. So, based on that rule system, let's start with supporting actor and actress. In supporting actress, the nominees are Sally Hawkins for Blue Jasmine, Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle, Lupita Nyong'o for 12 Years a Slave, Julia Roberts for August Osage County, and June Squibb for Nebraska. Now, let's talk about who's won what so far.
Okay.
Golden Globes, Jennifer Lawrence. For the SAG Awards, Lupita Nyong'o. For the Critics' Choice Awards, Lupita Nyong'o. For the BAFTAs, which is the British Academy Awards, Jennifer Lawrence. For, I guess that's it.
Right, so it looks like Jennifer Lawrence and Lupita Nyong'o have been sort of splitting the awards.
Right.
They're definitely the favorites for this category.
Right, and in fact, we split them ourselves because I went with Jennifer Lawrence.
And I went with Lupita Nyong'o. And in this case, I think it's because she's a newcomer. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they like the newcomers. And I think that especially with Jennifer Lawrence also appearing in a film like Catching Fire the same year, that might detract from her appeal to the Academy.
I can see that.
It's not as serious a role as this one is.
But that's very much a split vote on that. Supporting actor, Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips, Bradley Cooper for American Hustle, Michael Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave, Jonah Hill for The Wolf of Wall Street, and Jared Leto for The Dallas Buyers Club. Now, for everything other than the BAFTAs, it was Jared Leto all the way in all the awards leading up to the Oscars. Mm-hmm. And in fact, we're both going with Jared Leto.
Yeah, I am. I don't think that that there's any besides conventional wisdom on this one. Right. Nobody stands out.
Moving on to Best Animated Feature. The Croods, Despicable Me 2, Ernest and Celestine, Frozen, and The Wind Rises. How did the Croods get in here?
Well, because they have a space for up to 5 nominees or whatever, and so they just, anything that's animated goes into this category. I mean, because did you even hear of Ernest and Celestine or The Wind Rises?
No.
No.
And pretty much across the board, Frozen, because it's Disney.
Because it's Disney.
And you've got older voters for the Academy, and that's pretty safe bet.
I would like to see Despicable Me 2 win it, just because that is such a nice film, but I'm pretty sure it'll be Frozen.
Right. Best Original Song. Happy from Despicable Me 2, Let It Go from Frozen, The Moon Song from Her, and Ordinary Love from Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Mm-hmm. And so we have Golden Globes was Ordinary Love. For the Critics' Choice was Let It Go, Frozen. And we're splitting our vote on this one as well.
I said Frozen because there's a history of Disney movies winning in this category.
Right. And I'm picking Ordinary Love because the Academy tends to go a little more liberal. And so it's like, oh, well, that's a message movie, so...
Yeah, and that would be one category where they could actually give it to this film.
Exactly. Best Director. David O. Russell Alfonso Cuarón, Alexander Payne, Steve McQueen, not the actor Steve McQueen, and Martin Scorsese. And Alfonso Cuarón pretty much across the board for all the pre-award shows.
Yeah, and just because of that reason, I think he'll win the Oscar too, but I don't know that he actually was the best director.
Right,
you
but
know, I have no idea.
So he was the one who directed Gravity.
Right.
And I think just because he invented these new methods, or at least he supervised the creation of these new methods of filmmaking,
right.
I think that's why he deserves it over the others. We'll see. Best Actor or Actress, starting with Best Actress. Amy Adams for American Hustle, Cate Blanchett for Blue Jasmine, Sandra Bullock for Gravity, Judi Dench for Philomena, and Meryl Streep for August Osage County. With the exception of the People's Choice Awards, across the board for Cate Blanchett. People's Choice Awards went with Sandra Bullock.
Now, the only thing that I could see screwing up Cate Blanchett's win is this backlash on the Woody Allen
On the Woody Allen issue. Yeah, that's the only potential thing. And I think if that happens, then it's probably Sandra Bullock.
Yes. But otherwise, yeah, it's going to be Cate Blanchett.
Right. And then Best Actor. Christian Bale for American Hustle, Bruce Dern for Nebraska, Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I don't know if I got that, Ejiofor, and it wasn't close, for 12 Years a Slave, and Matthew McConaughey for the Dallas Buyers Club. So because of these, we're into the major awards. We wanted to make sure we caught all the pre-awards, and that includes the prestigious KAFCA, which is the Central Ohio Film Critics Association.
Woo-hoo!
Yes, it exists. And
it's
so,
like 15 people.
Yes, and so they and the BAFTAs picked Chiwetel Ejiofor. Everybody else picked Matthew McConaughey. And in fact, that's who we're both picking.
Yeah, I'm torn though. I think it could be Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be unusual.
Yeah, it would be very unusual. I think it's Matthew McConaughey's year.
Well, he's been nominated a number of times before.
Yes.
And they're saying that he did a really good job in this one. I think that they'll give it to him just because of his body of work up to this point.
Right. I think that's one of those things of he hasn't won for such a long time and all this.
Mm-hmm.
So, finally, Best Picture.
Woo!
Now, there are currently, I believe, 9 nominees for this, starting with American Hustle, Captain Phillips, Dallas Buyers Club, Gravity, Her, Nebraska, Philomena, 12 Years a Slave, and The Wolf of Wall Street.
Now, I thought when they did this whole thing to add more films in, that it was to hopefully get some comedies in there and some unusual things. But it doesn't appear to have done that.
Not happening at all.
I know they're saying American Hustle is sort of a comedy. Her is sort of a comedy. You know, no.
Yeah. Well, and in fact, for the, for the Golden Globes, they, because they actually do break it up into comedy and drama, and so they gave it to American Hustle for comedy, 12 Years a Slave for drama. The People's Choice went to Gravity. The Critics' Choice went to 12 Years a Slave. The BAFTAs went to 12 Years a Slave. The New York Critics Association went to American Hustle. The prestigious KAFCA went to Gravity. And based on all that,
I'm picking 12 Years a Slave because I think they're going to miss out on so many the other awards.
They're going to feel bad and say
that, you know, they're going to say, oh, and you know, the field is so split with so many nominees. I think it's going to go to 12 Years a Slave.
And I am picking Gravity because of the number of awards it's come up with. I think generally if it doesn't go to Cuarón, which I think is almost a lock, it'll go to Gravity. And especially if Sandra Bullock doesn't get Best Actress, I think it'll go to Gravity. So that's, again, the Best Picture is almost becoming consolation prize.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, just because it's not worth as much, I don't think, when you're in such a big field. I don't know. Because you know, they need to narrow that field down somehow. Maybe do a pre-vote and then do another, you know. Yeah.
They keep fiddling with these formats, especially for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Do the Oscars mean as much as they used to? That's a whole nother show.
Right.
But you can check out our audio podcast, How I Got My Wife to Read Comics, on iTunes or on our website, sfpodcastnetwork.com. From the Pop Culture Bunker, I'm Mindy.
And I'm Mark. Thanks for watching and enjoy the Oscars!